Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. And I saw Patrick, where are you joining us from? I didn't mean leave you out
I
there.
live in north of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. I feel like we're rocking like every time zone here today. This is good. And let's see. I was just checking to see if Denny, where are you joining us from?
Minnesota as well.
Oh, Minnesota?
Yep, I'm Minnesota, just the other side of Twin Cities from Joe.
Oh, perfect. Very cool. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for the meet and greet series, which is the fun and fitness edition. We are super excited to have Joe with us here today, so you'll get to know more about him and what he enjoys for fun and fitness. I'm Laurie Boyer, for those who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, and I'm the board chair for the Myositis Association, and proud to work with the wonderful TMA team. And we have Paula. I'll pass the mic.
Hi, Paula Eichenbrenner, TMA's executive director. I've been serving in that role for a year and a few months now. And this is our meet and greet series, which is very casual. Drop in as you are, unmute whenever you'd like to share, chat in the chat box as much as you would like to. Laurie and I set up these informal Zooms just to spend more time with one another and with all of you. And we're really excited about tonight's theme, fun and fitness.
Totally agree. And we have joining us today, Joe. He is the father of Minnesota disc golf and one of our wonderful TMA members. So we'll get to know more about him as the night progresses. So if you haven't yet, if you're just joining us, drop your city and state or country that you're joining us from so we could see where everybody is from.
Laurie, it occurs to me very belatedly that we could have called this the Fun, Fitness, and Fight edition of Meet and Greet with Joe's last name.
That's true. We could like put fight in quotes, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I always love a good alliteration.
I always love a good one-syllable last name, given that mine is 4 syllables and 13 letters long.
I'm sure that's a fun one in like first grade to write out, right? Well, just a couple of meet and greet reminders, you guys. Recordings will be posted on our YouTube channel, so it's there, linked there for you, and you can submit your questions through the chat. And then, like Paula said, it is an informal conversation, so please feel free to unmute and join in on the convo. Any webinars that we start, we do like to always share what the Myositis Association's mission and vision is. So you could see that it's to improve the lives of persons affected by myositis. We are an umbrella organization supporting all forms of myositis. We like to fund innovative research and increase myositis awareness and advocacy, which, wink, wink, you're going to hear a lot more about myositis awareness coming up since we have Myositis Awareness Month next month. And then our vision is a world without myositis. So that's what we're working hard and towards achieving each and every day with the help of wonderful community. All right, who here likes to play some Scrabble for fun? Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Me,
yeah.
Scrabble and bananagrams and the New York Times games, all the word games.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. It's sometimes like that friendly family competition. It starts off good and it could go downhill depending upon if you're not sure if that word should count. But let's think about words here. And what is one word that could be used to describe you?
Well, I'm putting my word in the chat. It's glitter. And I actually have a t-shirt that was gifted to me that says, my favorite color is glitter. So I own that extra.
Nothing wrong with that. That is good stuff. I would say my one word would be grateful. I think I live a grateful life and I'm grateful for the people in my life. And so I think I have an attitude of gratitude. So that would be my word. What about you, Joe?
Well, for me, I am Jumpin' Joe. I don't jump
Oh.
quite as much as I used to, but I was a pretty good jumper back in the day. But I guess my word I would think of, it came to mind would be very, very fortunate. Everything in my life has gone ridiculously well, except for IBM. So, anyway, I mean, life has been really good. Still is.
That's awesome. What are some other words we're seeing there, Paula?
Positive, excited, joyful. These are some good words. Passionate.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at that.
I
Joyful
had to,
Jones.
yeah, that's cute. I had to put excited in there because it's probably the word I use the most. I'm always excited about so many things, so.
Working with Rachel on the daily, I can confirm that. That is a genuine excitement.
That's fantastic. Ooh, Linda, curious. I like that one. Oh, he's
John and
curious.
Carrie, John does too. He says, I want to change my answer to curious. John, if you change the Zoom drop down to say send chat to everyone in meeting, everyone can see your replies.
Perfect.
Easy
They
going.
know how to use technology, but no, I'll work on that. So,
That's okay. Every time I connect to Zoom, it wants to do an update and then there's a
Yep.
new feature. So the one feature I've really mastered is the reaction buttons because it's so fun and you can do any kind of emoji. Like here, I just sent up some dogs. This is another one. I put this on a lot. The crystal ball. I get asked hard questions in meetings and I'm like, I don't know. Let me look at my crystal ball.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome. I think I just found one that I feel a lot of
Oh,
times I'm
good
getting asked those
one.
hard questions too. All right, awesome. Well, let's see what else we're working with. So just a little more getting to know you, our last getting to know you question. What's your go-to comfort food? I'm really excited to hear this answer because we do have lots of different time zones and we also have different countries on this call. So what are we working with when it comes to your favorite comfort food? Feel free to unmute and let us know or drop it in the chat. Ooh, Joe, do you have a favorite ice cream flavor?
I'm good. Coffee is probably my favorite. Coffee, I like vanilla with chocolate sauce. I'm kind of a simple guy, Those are probably my favorites.
I like it. Mine's pretty much any ice cream with caramel. You had me at caramel.
I'm not a dessert person, so my comfort foods are all like salty things. Like, if I was stranded on an island, I would definitely need a box of wheat thins to survive. Like that would be in my 5-item survival pack, a box of wheat thins. When I lived in Florida and we had to prepare for hurricane season, there was always an unopened box of wheat thins in the pantry for this exact reason.
That's awesome. You didn't want to get hangry around others when you're in hurricane mode, That's good. Ooh, I hear you, John. He says French fries with copious amounts of condiments. Yes. Here's a really important question. Have you ever had disco fries?
No.
It's like a New Jersey thing, because there's diners everywhere, but disco fries has literally gravy and then it has cheese. And I'm just gonna tell you, when you put all those three things together, it's really ridiculously delicious.
Kind of like poutine fries?
poutine.
Like in
Similar. Yeah, they have
Okay,
the curds
okay.
in it. Yep. I
Okay.
feel like that's like the enhanced level of disco fries. Canada got it really right. Ooh, double-decker chocolate chip cookie ice cream,
wow.
Rachel?
No, it's
assuming?
an actual cookie at Costco. It's like,
Ooh,
I had it yesterday. It was so good.
that's fantastic. Well, after we enjoy all these wonderful comfort foods, it is important for us to flex a little bit and get some fitness in, right? So we'll move on. If you have a moment and you have your cell phone out at this point in time, if you don't mind, you could take a picture of this screen. Just a little tech tip. Anytime there's a QR code, if you take a picture of it with your phone, you can then go back to your photos and then tap on the QR code at a later date and be able to open up the link that it has in it. So it's oftentimes when you see QR codes on screens, it's up for a quick minute and you might click on the link and then not sure how to get back to it. Just take a picture. And then when you go to your photos, put your thumb on it, and then it will open up to that link time and time again in the future. So if you do that, you'll see on here, it's a wonderful, the TMA team has been working hard and they have a wonderful calendar of events for Myositis Awareness Month by day. There's things happening all throughout the US and beyond. And then they also have a wonderful toolkit for Myositis Awareness Month. So definitely take a moment to check that out and reach out to the team if you have any questions. But we want to point out that there's these wonderful diagnosis days that we have disease-specific diagnosis days that we have programming for this year that we're excited about. So let us know, after you get to attend it, let us know your thoughts, and definitely complete the survey so we could keep making it better each year.
So many exciting things in such a short period of time, just 2 more weeks, and we'll be in May, Myositis Awareness Month. Very exciting.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it. So Paula, would you like to introduce Joe to the team here?
Oh, would I? So the number one thing I want to say about Joe Feidt is that he is in the Disc Golf Hall of Fame, which makes him the coolest person I have ever met. He sent a friendly introductory email last May, actually, wasn't it, Joe? You reached out during Myositis Awareness Month. And I was like, let me Google this guy. And the first hit is his Hall of Fame entry. It is fabulous. We'll put the link in the chat for you. And he'll share a little bit more about his disc golf journey in his own words. He is in Minnesota and an active member of the TMA support group that's based in Minnesota as well. He is still very active in the disc golf world and is the editor of Disc Golfer magazine. That's going on 20 plus years, I think, right, Joe? And I will definitely turn it over to Joe to expand a little bit more. On the next slide, too, we have a couple more pictures of Joe because he's featured in the current issue of TMA's Outlook, our quarterly magazine. So we have an article with him as shown here, and you can learn even more about Joe in the Outlook. So Joe, please tell us a little bit more about you and how you ended up in Minnesota and how you got involved in the community.
Well, first of all, thank you, Paula and Laurie and Rachel for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, I was lucky enough to stumble upon disc golf almost 50 years ago. So I was actually driving bus in Minneapolis, which I used to do. That was one of my first jobs out of college in the mid 1970s. I saw an article in the paper that said Frisbee pros are coming to Minnesota, and I decided to check it out. And I was amazed that the first person I bumped into was a good friend from college by the name of Doug, who's also in the Hall of Fame, actually. Anyway, he and I had played hours and hours of Frisbee at Colorado College in the late 60s. And we hadn't seen each other for like 5 or 6 years anyway. And there he was. He said, Joe, I'm a Frisbee pro. And I was so impressed. And I just went, oh my God, Doug, I cannot believe it. How cool. So anyway, he got me, he introduced me to everybody. I became an immediate convert to it and was just happy as heck to find something that I really wanted to do for the rest of my life. I didn't really think of it at that time, but my father did tell me, Joe, life is short and find something you like to do early and then keep doing it. I thought, oh, okay. So I have been doing it for many years. I'm still doing it, but not doing it as well as I used to, but I can still kind of play. I was diagnosed with IBM 11 years ago, and I decided that I would keep playing as disc golf as long as I could and keep being as active as I could for as long as I could. So I have been doing that. And I picked up pickleball about 5 years ago, and I love pickleball too. So what's cool about pickleball is that I can kind of jam the paddle into between my thumb and fingers and hold it and be able to actually, play okay. So anyway, I stay active and I'm still doing it. But to tell you a little bit about disc golf, getting back now to disc golf, I want to, a lot of people don't know exactly what it is, which is okay. It's not a really well-known sport, I guess, but it is kind of. It's getting better. But anyway, it's amazing how many people are playing. It's estimated there are over 1 million people playing it all over the world now. And it's active, and we have activity and courses and people playing in 90 countries, which is pretty amazing. And it's extremely popular in Northern Europe, especially Norway, Estonia, Finland, and Sweden. Those are probably 4 of the really just hotbeds of disc golf. Very popular, and the World Championships this year will be in Finland for the first time ever outside of North America. Also, it's going to be in the World Games this year, and the World Games is a stepping stone to the Olympics. So it's a possibility that disc golf will be in the Olympics someday, hopefully before I die. That would be super cool. A little bit about disc golf. Here's a Frisbee, which I'll hold up for you. And
Like a traditional Frisbee?
yeah, traditional Frisbee. They're kind of big, they're lightweight. And this was actually my golf disc back in the late 70s. And I thought at the time that golf discs could not get any better than this Frisbee, but they did get better. I wasn't exactly a visionary, let's say. This is now a golf disc, so it's a lot smaller.
Oh.
Yeah, so here's a
And it's flatter.
Yeah, it's like, you'll see that it's a lot, as you say, flatter. It's got a lower profile, and it's kind of got a sharp edge to it. And what that does is it allows it to cut through the air easier and it more efficiently, so it goes farther. And also, it's because it's very sharp, it has less wind resistance. It's more predictable. But you can play disc golf with a Frisbee or a golf disc, so it really does not matter. And golf courses are generally free, although there are pay-to-plays around too. So no matter where you live, there's probably a disc golf course nearby, because unless you're living in rural, North Dakota, which might be a little bit harder, but if you're pretty much anywhere where there is a small town or a city, there's probably disc golf courses. Minnesota is really a popular big place for disc golf. We have 50 courses within about a half an hour of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul. We were an early hotbed of the sport, and I'm really proud to have kind of been the pioneer, got things going in Minnesota back in the day.
The father of Minnesota disc golf.
Yeah.
I like it.
So cool.
Yeah, and Joe, can you tell that story about what number you are in the association?
Yeah. Well, okay, sure. I'd be happy to. I am when you join the Professional Disc Golf Association, the PDGA, you get a number for life. And it just goes sequentially. And I'm number 362 out of now over 300,000 members. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And
Wow.
I waited a year to get it. If I had just given this guy who was starting it the money, I would have been a 2-digit, but I'll take 3 digits.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, I was an early joiner. Yeah.
Question for you, Joe. So, you know how in golf, sometimes they utilize a cart to go around, but then, professional golf players have to walk the course. How is it in
Yeah, disc golf, people use carts to get around occasionally, but not too often. And most of the time we're walking or carrying a lot of people will use a cart to pull if they've got a lot of discs. But we have a story in the most recent, actually the current issue of Disc Golfer magazine. It's on accessibility to courses, which is kind of interesting. And that's now becoming one of the things that we're rating on courses. Courses are all rated all over the world, just one of those things. And one of the things we're rating now is accessibility. And there are courses now that are, trying to become more accessible to make them wheelchair accessible even. So, and I may
That's fabulous.
someday playing in a wheelchair if it's possible. I don't really know, but anyway, we are trying to make courses more accessible too, which is kind of neat.
I think that's important work, Joe. John has added into the chat that he plays disc golf and has for 25 years. So we are truly in the company of very cool people. I'm really impressed. I really want to try disc golf. Rachel and I looked up which courses are close to us. But John has asked if you can compare disc golf and regular golf as far as like the size of the courses or the number of holes too. I would be interested in.
Okay, sure. Disc golf courses are about a third as long as traditional courses. So if you've got, for instance, I was watching Masters last weekend, and maybe the average length of a hole there is maybe 500 yards long. And I would say the average length of a disc golf hole is about 500 feet. So it's about a third approximately. And our courses are anywhere from 9 holes to 18 holes there are some 27-hole courses. Most of them are free to play, but there are some pay to plays too. And pay to plays are definitely becoming more and more popular. So that's kind of it.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
So, well, here's another wondering I have too. So, I mean, it's great because I like that it's a smaller course and things of that nature. So I think it's, maybe more accessible to many. But if you were getting started out with disc golf, do you have to have your own discs, or is that something that the courses have for you to like rent, or like where do you start?
Yeah, so there are some places, I would say most people start because somebody introduces them to the sport and they say, hey, why don't you, I've got some discs, why don't you try throwing that? Someone has good, and if they have good luck with that disc, a lot of times the person will say, why don't you just keep it? You know? So I would say that's the typical way. However, you can get a very nice starter pack at a place like Walmart or Kmart or Walmart or Target or something. So a lot of them do have starter packs for maybe, $20. So it's really, that's one of the really nice comparisons with regular traditional golf. It's a lot less expensive in terms of the equipment. The average golf disc now is probably around $20. So you can get 3 or 4 discs for under $100. You're all set and ready to go. A bag might cost whatever. You can use anything you want or not even use a bag. There are no greens fees typically. So you're getting a lot of really good exercise. It's less expensive. It's less formal. It compares very favorably with traditional golf, I would say.
I would say so too. Now, John has said, I went to putters since I didn't have the arm strength for higher speed discs. Any tips? Thank you for asking the question, John, because now I'm learning that there are putters in disc golf like there are in traditional golf. So explain that while you're answering the question, Joe, please.
Sure. And putters are, each different types. There's 3 main different types of discs, I should say. And that would be a driver, which is this one, which is very narrow and sharp. And then there's also there are fairway drivers and approach discs, which are kind of in the middle. And then there's a putter. The putter is looks more like a traditional Frisbee. It's more blunt edged and doesn't go as fast or as far, but they're very accurate. So what I would say to John is, instead of throwing a putter so much, I would look at maybe getting a fairway driver or an approach disc. Like, for instance, there's just lots and lots of them out there. The Discraft Buzz is an example, and also the Innova Rock. Those are
Yeah.
really
Joe, sorry. Before you even said Buzz was in my head, and Rock is my favorite disc. At the time, my strength was just even too light for that. I had myositis for those on the call, probably about 4 years in, and in recovery. Very excited to get into the warm weather and disc golf again. But I appreciate your tips, and I will take that into advice as I get back out in the course this year. And if you don't mind, I'd like to make one more comment, because I was really smiling when you said, you just kind of bring somebody along and let them keep a disc. That's how I got into the game. It's how I got many people into the game. And actually, my best love for it is the low pressure, the nature. You can take your time walking. If anybody wants to go faster, everybody's super kind and they just go around. If you have a problem, almost everybody's just willing to help. I think I've met less than 1% of people without a smile on their face. So, Joe, if it's okay if I share that from my perspective,
Yeah.
that's why I love the sport so much. It's just the camaraderie and the peace that it brings.
Thank you, John. I'm really glad you brought that up. And I totally agree with you. To me, the most important, the thing I like most about disc golf is the social aspect of it, just getting together with people in a very informal way and having fun talking. And as you know, I mean, with guys, a lot of times we're more solitary and kind of keep to ourselves more than women, who are typically more interacting and socializing more. So I think for guys especially, disc golf is really nice to get together with your friends and have a good time, and in a very informal way. So
hey, Joe, I have had more, quote unquote guy speak on the disc golf course than any place else, right? And really meaningful conversations that I feel like I've connected and, kind of added value to our mutual lives by able to actually have a space to go that deep. I've not felt that, and I'm sure it could be, with people in other regular golf in other areas, but it's a different environment just to be together, and it does after time kind of open it up to some deeper thought and contemplation. That's what I've found as well.
nice.
I love that so much. Madge, do you have a question?
I do. Do you yell for when you fling it?
Yes, actually, if you're heading off toward people, we do yell for. That's one of the things that's very similar. Yes.
That's good to know.
I've yelled for many times.
I feel like that word would be in my vocabulary often when out there getting started. That's good to know, Madge.
Okay, Joe, I have a question for you. In the Outlook article, you said that sometimes you play on a pitch and putt course.
Mhm.
So what is that exactly?
Yeah, a pitch and putt course is one that is basically all par threes. So they're
Okay.
short. Sometimes they're called executive courses in ball golf or regular golf. And so that's what I generally play on is a short little 9-holer, all par threes, and it's flat, which is nice. And that's where I play now, and I'm happy to do it. I could not physically play a really hilly, tough course. It would just be too hard to do. But there are all these different kinds of courses, so you kind of gravitate to what courses you like to play.
That is really awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to try it out. I'll have to send you some pics along the way of me probably missing getting it in, but I'll give a really good effort there, Joe. So let's get a little poll going here for the audience. We want to know, how many minutes of physical activity do you typically get in a day? So you can see there's everything from like 0 to 15, all the way up to over an hour. And that can include anything from quality stretching to physical therapy. Maybe you enjoy swimming, working out, walking your dog, whatever it is that suits you best. So give everyone a second to answer.
As honestly as possible, please. Just kidding. Polls are anonymous.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
have you ever got cranked with one of those discs before accidentally, or accidentally cranked
yes.
someone?
I have been hit by a disc. It hurts a little bit. Some people have been hurt worse, but it doesn't happen that often, I would say. But yeah, it happens, and I've thrown and actually hit somebody, and it's not a good thing. But the way most courses are designed now, I would say it's harder to hit somebody than it used to be. So.
All right. So Rachel, I think we have almost 80% participation. So let's end the poll and share it out. All right. So it looks like, wow, we have a pretty active group here with 30 to 60 minutes typically each and every day. So
More
that's
than
awesome.
half.
I
Yeah.
was wondering, for me, you might have needed a negative number.
Listen, your daily excitement should count towards some sort of physical activity, right?
Yeah, all the adrenaline. Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome.
All right. So we'll stop sharing.
Perfect. So, just talking about physical fitness and fun, when thinking about physical fitness for everyone, there are some tips. These are just some of the top 10 tips to consult with your physician, which, I'm sure many of you know that already. And also you can work with a physical therapist if you're really not sure where to start. You could always start slow and gradual. It doesn't have to be extreme. And make sure you are always warming up and cooling down, right? We oftentimes undervalue how important stretching is, and it really helps to keep our body, not stiff, and also to help our muscles after, our physical activity. Definitely want to stay hydrated. So I always have my Yeti with me, or my Stanley cup, filling that thing up and drinking my water. And then listen to your body. Remember, we are all uniquely different. And just because it works great for Paula doesn't mean it's going to work great for me, right? So we have to figure out what our body can handle and what works best for our body. You might want to avoid exercise during, extreme flares. Obviously, exercise is good for myositis and getting your muscles moving. But once again, listen to your body. It's going to let you know if you can push or not push. And then stretch regularly, set realistic goals. It does always feel good. I don't know about you guys. I'm a checklist person. I like writing things down and setting goals and then checking them off. It's just, it's a good little mind game of, of getting tasks done. So set some realistic goals and feel the excitement from accomplishing them, and then stay consistent. So, if you say, hey, 3 times this week, I'm going to try and, get some fitness in, whatever that is for you, then great. Then try and stay consistent with that. And I think you'll see some great outcomes. We did also link in here, because we'll share this PowerPoint with you. We did link in here TMA's website for some more fitness tips. And then you'll also see in here, we do have an exercise playlist and a physical therapy playlist on our YouTube. So we wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. And we have the direct links to those as well for additional browsing through.
You can always put your phone or a tablet up there on your treadmill or exercise bike or whatever and stream an offering in the exercise playlist while you're exercising for extra credit.
There you go. Good advice. All right. So we do have another poll question. We want to know, what as the myositis community is most significant challenge that you face in managing your daily activities due to myositis? So you can see the choices down below.
And Zoom polling is kind of limited. You can only select one option, even if there are 2, 3, or maybe all of the above are a significant challenge for you. Seeing some answers come in here.
I was gonna bust into song and be like, oh, we're halfway there when we hit the 50, but I didn't really want to break glass. All right, it looks like we have almost a little over 70% that's participated. Maybe we could share out the results.
Sharing now. And it looks like mobility and getting around is far and away the most significant challenge, with 50%, about half of us.
Mhm.
That probably tracks what we've heard in other contexts and during exercise related sessions at TMA's patient conference. So you're certainly not alone in feeling that way. And the only way through it is through it, right? So it's so important to stay active. And I know, Joe, that's one of your guiding principles, right? You try to do something active every day you can.
It is. Yep. I do. I really do. I have to get out and do something. I'm basically writing and editing a lot, but also trying to get out and do either, play disc golf, play pickleball, or just walk or hike in my neighborhood.
It's awesome.
I'm a big walker myself. I try to walk 5 miles a day. I used to be a lot more consistent about it. Going into spring with the weather opening up, I think I'm going to get my step count back up again. But I maxed out at 5 miles a day because and I wake up early and do a long walk in the morning whenever I can, right? But that is a time consuming piece of my day. So at that point, I was like, no further. If I'm going to add more steps, I need to take up running, and that's a hard pass. I'll leave the running to Rachel and Erica on our team and the others who are really into that. I know I hear a lot about it. I just have never been able to get into it.
Fantastic. All right, so let's turn it over to you guys. What are some activities? I know from knowing some of you out here that many people take part in some really great things. So what are some activities that you like to enjoy for fun and fitness? You could unmute if you want to share that way, or drop it in the chat.
Whoa, John has put a beautiful picture in the chat. Is that in the fall with
Yeah.
the leaves?
Yeah, that was the leaves changing. It was either last year or the year before. It's a beautiful. I think it's a Joe. You'll actually know better if it's a like pro course. It's got a lot of beautiful holes, and I actually got a number of really beautiful pictures through there. And right next to it's a full golf course as well, but just a lot of fun taking pictures while you're walking around and listening to the birds.
Where is that taken, John?
That's in Dretska Golf Course.
Oh, sure, Dreska. I've heard it. That's in Milwaukee, right?
That's correct. Yep, and
Yeah,
it's a wonderful course. Yeah.
I played Valrath Park in Sheboygan, but I haven't played Dretska, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, they do a really good job maintaining it. And, for those others not maybe familiar with the sport as much, they, move the pins around, kind of like golf, but they also, have different tee pads a little bit as well. So there's a lot of similarities with it. And it's, really interesting because Joe, I do try to find those, par 3 courses as well, right? Nowadays instead. So it's a great sport for all ages and all, kind of capabilities. So.
Wow, thanks for sharing that. That's beautiful. Rachel, I think you know something about one of our members on here, what they like to do for fun.
Yes. And so I said that I like to travel to see my friends. And recently I was in Wisconsin. Can you guys see my collage here?
That looks like Mr. Kent Junker.
It sure is. And one of the things Kent likes to do is bake sourdough bread. And he's been doing it for 18 years. He's on the call. He can talk about it. But I was just so excited. This is the loaf that I got to bring home. And Paula and I had some. I had the last piece yesterday. So now I'm sad. And then you notice the dogs are very interested in the sourdough bread making also. And then I just threw in the extra picture of Henry because he's just so cute. But Kent, do you want to talk a little bit about how you got into it? Because we didn't want to just talk about fitness. We want to talk about fun too.
Well, yeah, it was fun. And it was great to finally meet you in person, along with Suds up north. So that was great. I just want everybody to know that if we would have turned our back, Rachel would have absconded with Henry. The both of them would have taken off and lived their life together happily ever after. But he really took to Rachel, and it's like, what is with this dog? He's like your family forever. But no,
Yeah.
it was interesting listening to the golfers out there, and I'm just thinking, like, I have trouble getting from one end of the house to the other and not being fatigued, but that's where I'm at in my my walk and this journey, and glad I can still do that. So best of luck to you guys, and keep going as long as you can. That's awesome.
Where do you live,
And-
Ken?
Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Oh.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and John that's on the call, I got to meet him in person and have coffee also, so that was nice. So John meet Kent, Kent meet John, and you guys will be working together. So it's just awesome to spend time with you guys, whether it's in person or at a meet and greet. We love it.
Yeah, and hey, Kent, I used to be in Paddock Lake, Wisconsin, not too far from you. So,
Well, if you've been in Paddock Lake, have you, oh no, you probably never saw the Aquanaut water shows?
I know of them, but I probably didn't see them. No, yeah.
We have, I was one of the 3 guys that started it, and it was, I thought I was diagnosed in 2018 with polymyositis, and I know I had it before that. My wife knows I had it before that, but I always thought it was all those times I was going 40 miles an hour over a water ski jump and doing a crash and burn because I was one of the clowns in the show. But anyways, no, the bread is just a love of a hobby that I have, and I give away more than I keep, and being one of 13 children, I have a lot of mouths to feed. They're always asking me, "Where's my loaf of bread?" So that's it. Yeah, I'm sorry I had trouble getting online, and but I was glad I was able to. So
No, that's great.
I have a
I see-
question, Kent.
Oh yeah, go for
Do
it.
you do mail orders?
yeah. Well, there was a person down in Florida who I met, and she was going down there. She's from Sri Lanka. And I decided I was going to surprise her with a loaf of bread. So I did a 2-day delivery FedEx, and it was like $65. It's the most expensive loaf. Hey, Henry, the most expensive loaf I've ever made.
No kidding.
But no,
I'm sure it tasted like $1 million to her though.
Yeah, I bet it
There you go.
was.
That's great. But that's kind of where we're at, and glad to be here tonight.
Good to
We're
see.
glad you joined us.
Good to see the palm trees at Lake Geneva. I didn't know that they were growing there.
That may be wishful thinking, Kent.
I'm sorry, Joe, what did you say?
I see the palm trees by Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I wish.
Laurie, I think if we went back and asked again the question about what is your favorite comfort food, quite a few of us on the line may say Kent Junker sourdough bread at this point.
Yeah.
I'm completely sold.
Same here. I'll bring the butter.
Right, I know. And we're all fitness. Yeah, okay. Fitness, all this bread in my mouth. But anyway.
Well, just
It's called
use
life
olive
balance.
oil instead of butter.
There you go. Perfect. Denny, I noticed that you mentioned you enjoy cycling. Do you like to do that indoors or outdoors?
Both, but I do like outdoors. I am very down to from what I used to do when I was young. I went on a couple tours when I was young in my 20s and teens. My sister and I rode our bicycles from New Orleans to New York City back in 30 some years ago. So yeah, that was fun. I still like it. I can still cycle, but not quite I used to.
Totally
This is
understand.
with everything.
But that's really cool. How many days did that take for you to cycle from New Orleans to New York?
We were on the road for 42 days, but I think our actual riding days were 27 or so.
Wow.
We spent a lot of time with friends and family, hanging out, having fun along the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, what a cool experience.
Yeah,
Anyone
it
else
was,
here cycle?
Hey,
what's that?
I had a quick question for Denny. Hey, do you use a recumbent bike by chance, or a recumbent trike? Because I ended up getting a recumbent trike, and my actually real question is, do you go with the e-bikes at all? Because an electronic recumbent trike has changed the game for me to stay with my kids out in the biking game, if you will. So curious about what you're doing.
I'm at this point on a standard kind of mountain bike / road bike still. I'm pretty much on trails and very much more flat than it used to be, which I can do to a fair amount nearby my house. I have not joined the e-bike world.
Yeah.
I'm a little intimidated that some of those gangs of 13-year-old boys might, take me out if I'm out there on the e-bike. So it is good to see the 11 to 14-year-old boys out on bikes, the e-bikes, in mass. It reminds me of being a kid, though. A large part of me is like, why are you on an e-bike? You're 12 or 13. You should be on a regular bike out in these packs.
I totally agree, and I see it all the time, around my neighborhood. And I've got one of the electric assists, and so I can kind of use it because I don't have the strength otherwise. And so maybe just for you or anybody else, just an encouragement that if you have a love of cycling, the recumbent bike is a great option if you can still even just make the motions. The bike does the work, and you could still get the breeze in your face, if you will, right? So
Yep.
just so I dislike the e-bikes from the kids' perspective, if you will. I totally agree, right? I'm adamantly against small kids on electronic, components. All my kids have a plethora of them anyway. So, but good. I appreciate you allowing me to kind of ask the question and give some feedback. So thank you.
For sure.
That's awesome.
I have
I
one of
have to
those
confess.
e-assist bikes, and I like it for going up the hills if I just need a little boost.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to full-fledged confess. We had gone with a bunch of friends to St. Simon's Island in Georgia and rented e-bikes and scooted all around, which was much better and kind of mode of transportation, and got to see the whole island. But this past weekend, we had the great idea, oh, let's go out on our bikes with the kids and things of that nature. And as I was pedaling along in the Florida humidity, I thought to myself, I could really use an e-bike right about now. So I definitely appreciate the fact that they exist. Let me go
Laurie,
ahead.
I think that we had one more poll question,
Yes.
which I would really love to ask this group because
Yes,
it relates
definitely.
to TMA's upcoming Global Myositis Patient Conference, which will take place this September in Dallas, Texas. We'll all be together. Hopefully, every single person here can make it. It's September 18th through the 21st. So we culminate on World Myositis Day, and we're really looking forward to it. And we were wondering what kind of conference fitness offering you might be most excited to participate in at the conference. So we've got some options here, including a disc golf clinic with Joe and John. We're going to rope him in too as assistant coach. And maybe I'm going to wear a helmet, having heard that sometimes people get hit by the discs.
Don't worry, I'll yell 4, Paula. I'll yell 4.
So the options range from aqua therapy, which we have done before in the hotel pool. It's depends on the size of the pool and the regulations and such, but that's always a good option. Last year we had chair yoga, morning walks. Jim Milani led a couple of those for us, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, so chair yoga, very, very often requested here. Number one. Close second, though, disc golf clinic with Joe. So, Joe, we got to work on that. You said it was possible to do even in a hotel ballroom as a single hole, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
I do hope to make it this year. I really want to.
Yeah. And, you know, if we need a smaller one, I do have my mini disc golf here that we could always use.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
And it's totally functional. And I'm probably going to miss the shot, but, you know, Joe, it all rides on this one for me. We'll see. Oh, I got it. All right.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
That's
Very nice,
awesome.
John. Hey,
That's
John, I got a
amazing.
question for you.
Yeah.
John, are you a member of a club, a local club there? Or
I'm not.
are you a PGA member or anything?
I'm not. I would have loved to been. I was kind of mid-career and I was just getting back into the sport. And it was actually I had a slip on a tee when I was teeing off, and I thought I hurt my back, but that was actually the start of my you know, polymyositis journey, was, you know, on a tee box on the disc golf course. So
Wow.
my personal aspiration would have been to been, you know, a pro in the, you know, the Disc Golf Association. The problem is I've never been good, but I love doing it anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like in the game of ball golf where it's perfectly fine. You don't have to be great. Just bring a pencil with an eraser. You know what I mean? It kind of helps the game. Well, I think I foresee maybe like cocktails and disc golf in our future there in Dallas. Maybe we could make something like that happen. That should be a lot of fun. I like that
No, it
one.
sounds like the risk of discs coming towards heads might incrementally increase if we mix in alcohol, though I'm pretty sure if it's anything like ball golf, there's often beer to be found on the fairways.
Oh, yeah.
This is true. This is true. Well, we just wanted to say thank you to you guys. It's been really fun to have you know, such lively conversations with everyone today, and just you know, hopefully it's been great feedback you've given us so that we could take some of this information and look to incorporate it into the annual patient conference that's upcoming. And definitely stay connected. You'll see on here it's you do have Joe's email as well. So if you're interested in getting started or just want to, you know, talk it out, I'm sure he'd be happy to give you some guidance along the way. And we really appreciate you, Joe. Thanks for joining us today. And it was wonderful to have, you know, just such great insight from the whole team here and understanding how they take in fun and fitness on a regular basis. Right, Paula?
Yes, so fun.
Laurie and Paul, I'm sorry, can I interrupt? Joe,
Yeah,
I'm not
please
one
do.
to let an opportunity pass by. I got a cousin in Minneapolis. I will definitely be out there sometime. Like, it would be an honor to go like disc golfing with you. Could I get an opportunity to do that?
Oh, definitely. Please do. If you're coming here, let me know and we'll go out. I'll take you to my favorite course. So
You just made my day, my week, and my year, Joe. Thanks, buddy. I really
you're
appreciate it.
welcome, John. I can't
Yeah.
wait to meet you in person.
Yeah, I'll be.
You
it's
know, I
it's like
just really want
6-hour
to build
drive.
on this and say that we could organize a TMA fundraiser, like a disc golf tournament. We do have ball golf tournaments to benefit TMA's important missions. So let's make this happen. Let's all go visit Joe and raise some money
Yes.
for TMA.
I like it. I like it, Paula.
Love
let's
it.
do that.
Paula doesn't let an opportunity pass by either. I love it. Great.
That's why she's the best ED ever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She's
Thanks,
on it. I
thanks.
will definitely
Appreciate it.
go to Minnesota. That would be a lot of fun. That really would. So let's make that happen.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you everybody so much. It was great to be with you all tonight. Stay tuned for our next meet and greet and for our upcoming webinars. We do have our next program is this Thursday, April 17th. We have an Ask the Expert with one of our medical advisors, Dr. Yves Allenbach. So basically the exact opposite of this program, very learning oriented, very formal. Patrick, great to see you tonight.
Thanks for having me. Happy Holy Week and Easter, everybody.
Yep.
Yes,
Easter. Thanks a lot.
absolutely.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Have a great one.